right, and we are live. Let me do some shout outs here before I bring on. I think he's in the alley right now, taking out the garbage. Hopefully, there's nobody out there that he needs to beat up. But Eric will be with us shortly. Let me do some shout outs here. Who's with me so far? We've got Pepsi Man here, Cable Channel 11. Jess, how's it going? Captain Horror TTV, hello. What's up, Dave? What's up, Rick? Hey, Chaz. What's up, Alex? What's up, movie fan? Sam. Hey, there's Dan. What's up? Richard Skarinki. TH Jamie. How's it going? Hey, Jeff. How you doing? DJ, what's up? Zach, what's up, man? So I'm going to eventually at some point during the night, I'm going to make the link to join us available. So if you want to jump on and say hi to Eric or wish him a Merry Christmas or ask a question, that link will be made available. The link is already available to my patrons and to my channel members. So I'm going to give you guys early access to topping on and joining us and saying hello. So if you're a channel member or a patron, that link is already available to you. Hey, what's up, Kev? What's up, David J? What's up, Ross? Also, got some giveaway items here that I'm going to be giving away. Later on tonight, I've got a box set or a box for your Halloween 4K collection set here. That Blockbuster box sets my buddy Justin gave us. I'll also be giving away the digital code for Silent Night Deadly Night collection. And we'll be giving away some signed Eric Freeman Garbage Day magnets. All right, so we'll get to that soon. But I'm going to bring on my buddy Eric. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I was just looking at the chat. All these folks in here. God, imagine. I just can't believe it. I mean, you're slumming with me tonight, but it seems like there's people interested.
It's just not the holidays without Eric Freeman. That's what I tell people. It's just not the holidays without Eric Freeman. So how have you been, man?
Oh, well, you know, I'm boring. But I've been busy, and today's my garbage day. Thursday's garbage day, and I got sidetracked with a little plumbing problem, but we're here, and so yeah, all good. Thank you.
Good. You know, we always seems like we always do one of these around this time of year, and you know, people just like watching us shoot the bull, I guess, because I don't know how many people say, "You're where's Eric? Are you having Eric back on?" It's like I guess, you know,
if I have to.
Yeah, God, him again. But
yeah.
What are we drinking tonight, there, Eric?
Oh, well, I tried this before. It's called Synergy Raw Kombucha. It's what, but you'd say what? All I know is it's kind of snappy and sweet and tart, and it's this golden pineapple. It's one of the few flavors I like, but it's got a lot of zing to it, and there's literally no calories in it. So, but it's good. It's unusually good.
Well, that's good, and I'm sure it's full of all kinds of healthy vitamins and nutrients.
Yeah, it's actually made from like God, I don't know. It's going to sound odd, but it's kombucha is well, it's like it starts off as a fungus, but no, they grow this, and what it is, it's really good for intestinal and gut health, and it's it can make you regular and all this, but it's just there's also green tea and things in it, but they have a whole line. They probably have 15 flavors of this brand, but kombucha. I don't know. It's like what? Look, if I lived back in Minnesota still, and someone said kombucha, I'd say, you know, what? You know, what's hanging out? Is my fly open?
Well, there's some kombucha lovers in the chat. I was just highlighting their comments. My buddy Chris says kombucha is good for the gut. So he knows.
Yeah.
Knows.
Slash.
Yeah. Dan says he gets those at Walmart and they are really good.
There you go. So I'm not alone. I'm not a freak. So
Apparently not. Apparently not. Yeah. Parker, Alan, thank you for the $9.99 super chat, man. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas, Piz and Eric. Big fan, Eric. Cheers.
thank you.
Yeah. Parker, get in touch with me, Parker. I appreciate that super chat. Get in touch with me on social media, and I will send you a signed Eric Freeman Garbage Day magnet.
Yeah. Parker, it'll look like this. Let me see.
Oh,
There it is.
there we go. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's a garbage day mat. It's really cool. It's
You put that on your refrigerator and you will never forget when garbage day is.
Yeah. Every day you'll be reminded.
Mm-hmm. You'll never forget. So Alex is curious. Alex is from Minnesota. He was wondering what part of Minnesota you're from.
Minnetonka, but more specifically Deep Haven. Deep Haven was a nice little enclave near the lake. There was tons of lakes in Minnesota. There's 10,000 lakes, but in particular, I guess if you would say where Minneapolis is, you go west about 25 minutes west of Minneapolis, and that was Minnetonka, Tonka toys, Minnetonka moccasins. But yeah, it's a nice place to grow up. It was nice, and Deep Haven was beautiful. I always wanted to buy a house in Deep Haven. As I grew up, and I said, man, my brother was a real estate guy, so I was like, no, find me a house in Deep Haven. He said, why do you want to be in there? And I said, because it's cool, and it was just near the lake and boats and nice people. So I like it.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Brandon Houston says, Piz, now you got to have Robert Brian Wilson on. I've had Robert Brian Wilson on. I had Robert Brian Wilson on and Eric at the same time for a Silent Night, Deadly Night live commentary a few years ago. Check that out. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Death Rattle's got a question for you. How did you stay so ripped and in shape back in the day? What did your diet look like?
It was very boring and bland. It was brown rice and chicken, brown rice and tuna fish, brown rice and brown rice. Train.
Well, I think that wasn't just because it was healthy. Because I mean, you're an actor. You know what I mean. You're a nomad from job to job. You got to eat cheap too. Brown rices. You know what I mean.
No, and a lot of that was because I was poor. It was, yeah, you're right. I mean, if I found tuna fish on sale, I'd buy 100 cans of it. I would buy 25-pound sacks of brown rice. But all in all, that's a bodybuilding diet anyhow. And work and training really hard, and that's to train real hard, and then your metabolism can be real high when you train hard because your muscles are active and they burn calories 24 hours a day. So you can eat a lot. Bodybuilders eat a ton, but you can eat a lot of food and stay lean because you're keeping active. So that's how hard fucking work. Yeah, clearly I was in the gym more than I was in the acting class, but you couldn't learn anything in acting class anyhow because it was just so fake. I found, the best acting class I had was being on the set as an extra, and that's kind of verboten in the regard of what serious actors don't do that. But I don't know how you could learn any better than watch people and respect do their craft, and you're just 10 feet away to the side of the camera watching it. So, though that's like hands-on experience versus in a classroom, doing some scenes or, pretending you're a tree or whatever. So I don't know. I diverting, but other than to say, yeah, I was poor, and that was a poor man's diet, and I liked working out.
You showed off the magnets a little while ago. We've actually got the artist behind the magnets here hanging out with us tonight, Mike. He says they turned out great.
Yeah, you got one coming, Mike, via Piz, but I'll send one directly to you as well. Thank you. Yeah, Mike did the through Piz, because I kept saying to Piz, I said, "Hey, could we have I just want my image maybe in a cartoon animated style of holding a garbage bag instead of a gun," because I've had many people say, I'm handing this garbage can that my husband bought from your site. I'm holding. I pull it off the shelf and I give it to him every Friday so it reminds him to take out the garbage. And then I would hear other people say something like they do this or that to remind their husband to take out the garbage. And I thought, well, why don't I just remind him with a refrigerator magnet? So that's how that came to be. But Mike, thanks, man. It came out great. And the way I wanted to do is able to assign it on the side. That's why the format is, it's laid out horizontally, I guess. But thanks a lot.
Yeah, Mike's a really talented artist. He also did the Taco Man design for Taco Man, of course. And you can find him at Hey Yo Mike on Instagram, at Hey Yo Mike. So really talented guy. We got Jorge in the chat. He shouting out Southwest Detroit for himself, his cousin Abel Ramirez, and Joshua, and to you, Eric, much love from the D. So you got some love out in Detroit.
Yeah, very much so. I wanted to bring him up. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm glad he's here tonight. And he's out. Yeah, he's out in Michigan and Motor City. And thanks for showing up. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and that's nice.
That's great. Right on. Yeah. Jeff is wanting to know, the magnets are going to be available on Eric's website very soon. If they're not already, actually.
Yeah, pretty soon. I haven't put them up. I just got them and I rushed them out to Piz, and I've been kind of lazy lately. I just haven't gotten them. They're not going to sell for much. I don't, they're not going to come. It's not like so I just wanted to put that out there because I thought it was silly enough to fit in with the garbage can and stuff. So stupider the better for me. It seems to work.
Yeah. I just pinned Eric's website in the chat. So if you want to get a hold of Eric for a signed 8x10 or a poster or a garbage can, it makes the perfect holiday gift. Nothing says I love you to a loved one quite like an Eric Freeman signed garbage can. That is the ultimate gift of love.
Yeah.
That
perfect. If you're gonna vomit too, you got the can handy.
So. You never know when you might need it. Keep it nearby. Keep it within an arm's reach at all times. You never know when you
hold on to the can. You never know if you'll need
it. Exactly. Yeah. We got a $5 super chat from Horror Orman. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that, sir. Very kind of you.
I know that man too, because I just sent him something. He was kind enough to go to my site. So how cool. How nice.
Yeah. Thank you, man. That's very, very nice of you.
You must really get the word out because wow, that's cool.
So this is actually Chester wants to know, do you have any more garbage cans for sale? How many you got left? He'll take them all.
6 or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Hard to get.
So they're limited edition. So he's only got maybe 6 left. So if you want one, now's the time to get them.
Yeah. They're tough. They come from India, and but they're the coolest ones out there. So.
And they're real steel. I mean, it's not like a little plastic garbage can. It's a real steel garbage can.
Yeah. Well, it's small. It's only 10 inches high, but yeah, they're It's a galvanized garbage can. It's a miniature version of the guy that holds it in my film, right? That's it. It's just who knows? It's a funny thing. It took off, and I can't stop it. So
and now you're a legend. So
yes,
there you go.
33 years later.
Here's this is something, and I know you get asked this a lot. NB Davler over on Twitch, how often does Eric get asked to say garbage day?
A quick story on that, because I don't want to be too verbose, but I was just at a con here in Los Angeles, and we did a Q&A panel thing with Robert Brian Wilson, myself, and Scott McDonald. Yeah. And you know, and Scott speaking and Robert speaking, and then they get to me, and I'm and then they fielding questions from the audience, and there was one guy going, will you say garbage day? And I said, no. And then he said, why not? And then it got all, he said, you should say garbage day. And I said, well, I did, and I can't do it any better. But he goes, yes or no? So I said no, and that's the way it had. Wow. Everyone left, but it's.
But it's kind of like, you know, I mean, you know, and I've met Eric. I've known Eric for many years. I know Eric loves his fans, but don't run up to him at a convention. Just go, say it. You know what I mean? Be respectful. You know what I mean? Yeah. But this is what the garbage cans look like, just so you know. Oh. And these things are huge. If you did need to like puke in it or something, I mean, it's you know, it'll handle it. It'll hold a lot of puke if you needed to puke in it. You know, I'm just saying. But yeah, these things are awesome. Yeah, and yeah, Eric was at that convention recently, and I heard from a couple of people who went. They had a good time, and they got to meet Eric, and you know, they said they just said what a great guy you are. So,
oh, it's very kind. You know, I'll tell you folks how big. Look, I'm at a signing my stuff, and this is how big Piz is. He's so big time that a fan of mine comes up to me with Piz's shirt to sign his shirt. I'm signing a shirt, and it's a beautiful cotton shirt. It's absorbent. I've got a green paint pen, and it took me 15 minutes to write what she wanted on it. But she goes, yeah, I'm a huge fan of this guy. And I said, well, yeah, I have that shirt. I'm a huge fan too. So it was very interesting. So you're big, you're so big that they bring me your work to sign. So
wow, how strange is that? Yeah, I know. Wow, you know,
I'm nobody. I just sign it. I'm so lucky they show up, and it's like, you know, Robert's cranking out it's like a factory right next to me usually, and I'm just you know, sucking off of you know, it's kind of like basking in the limelight of Robert Wilson, but yeah.
Well, I mean, look here, you know, here's and I love Robert Brian Wilson, but there was not a Finding Robert Brian Wilson movement. There was a Finding Freeman movement for many years. So,
yeah, well,
we got my buddy Keith is in the chat. He says, hello, Piz, Eric, and everybody. Hope you're doing well, Keith. Oh, here's a good question. What's your favorite cheat meal?
In-N-Out Burger.
I was gonna say it's either In-N-Out Burger or like what's the Fat Burger?
Yeah, it's Fat Burger.
Yeah.
That's a huge burger. Yeah, I just go by 3 In-N-Outs on my way over here, and I mean, it's like bing, bing, bing. I was like, oh my god,
they're tempting you.
No, there's just, you know, and you can smell it. This is rolling out onto the road, and you know, you're waiting at a stop sign, going, yeah, wow, that's rough. That's rough. But if you can go by 3 In-N-Out burgers a day, one way, and not partake, you're made of some stern stuff. So I go in there, 2 doubles, everything, and just I don't even think I leave the parking lot. I usually go drive through and just eat it. But that's it. Cheat meal would be that, and yeah, and that would be that.
I mean, if you're gonna have a cheat meal, it needs to be a good one, right?
Oh yeah.
So, here's and this is a question you probably get fairly often, but Justin Murad wants to know, what's your favorite horror film besides your own?
Wow, and I don't have one. And you'd say, "What? What's wrong with you, boy?" I'm not a horror film aficionado, and I know it kills people for me to say it. I have no idea what would be. I have no idea. I don't have one. God, that's horrible to say that.
You just don't watch a lot of horror.
No, I don't. And I know if I started to, I would love it. I'd probably be like a panelist all the time on some of your streams because I would learn so much. But I just haven't. It's actually good that I haven't, and only because then there's a whole world of stuff that I can look at where you guys have seen, all the Halloween series and all this, and Jason, whatever, you 10 to 20, 30 times. I have yet to see any of it. So I was
wow.
No, not at all. And so, and something's wrong with me, clearly, but so I've got a whole world of stuff to catch up on. So,
I'll have to send you some recommendations. You definitely need to watch the first Friday the 13th so that you know how it all starts.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good one. The first Nightmare on Elm Street is a banger. The first Halloween is great. You know what I mean? But I mean, you're a busy man too. So I just have all this time on my hands. I can watch whatever. So
no, that's good. I always, it's always the first one's always the best, but I'm sure within all those various series and of those movies, I'm sure that there's like part 3 or 4 or 5 might be one of the better ones of all that. So there, it might be, where like for example, my movie's second to Roberts, and then it goes downhill from there. So it may be, diminishing returns, but I have the feeling within that horror field that you just spoke of, I'm sure that there's some knockouts, like part 6 might be better than the original or something, but
there's some sequels that are right up there, so there's some good sequels. But I mean, but you're like with Halloween or Friday the 13th, if you're diving into those series now, you're diving into a 13, 14 movie deep series that, you know what I mean? It's a commitment. Horror Orman says his poster arrived today.
Cool. Very good. Yeah. I like those posters. Those are nice.
Those are good posters. I've got one myself. Mike says he's happy. He's glad that you're happy with the artwork. So
yeah. No, it's very nice.
My buddy Chris could jump on and ask this question if he wanted to. I'm going to come back to this question because he could jump on and join us, but I'll come back to it. Lord Brian over on Twitch says, "What's up, Eric? It was a pleasure meeting you at Season Screamings in Pasadena. Thanks for being so engaging. Happy holidays."
That's very nice. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, those LA conventions are usually pretty laid back, and they're not their normal rabid fans of on the East Coast or the Midwest.
Everybody's jaded out there.
Yeah, they see a lot of. They see it. It's like Yeah.
Like I saw Drew Barrymore at Subway the other day. She was getting a foot long. You know what I mean? So it's just like I see celebs everywhere. That didn't sound right, did it? I saw Drew Barrymore. She was getting a foot long. It didn't sound right, did it?
Well, God bless her, if that's the
case. My buddy Dave out in Jersey wants to know if you grew up a North Stars hockey fan.
Yeah. I love that sport because it's brutal. I mean, it's one of the few that are still, the checking and the hacking and the teeth flying, and it's a brutal sport. For when you watch it, you kind of look for the fighting in the corner, and they're after that puck, and anything goes. Yeah, I remember. I used to all those the North Stars and the this and that, and the Vikings. There was a guy named Benchwarmer Bob. He was one of the Vikings, but he never got off the bench. But he happened to be a celebrity and regionally and doing commercials, but he was just known as Benchwarmer Bob. But it was just funny. I remember the guy they never picked him to go out there in the field, but he seemed to make a good living doing pitching automobiles or whatever. But yeah.
My buddy Dream Emulator says the most wonderful stream of the year. My signed garbage can is one of my most prized possessions.
It'll go in his will. And,
he's taking it to the grave. He's going to be cremated and put inside the garbage can.
Yeah, that'll be it.
You know what? These would make the perfect urns.
Yes, it's an urn.
Yeah.
It's an inexpensive urn. I'm going to start. Don't go for that. Don't go for the the regular urn. Get the cheap one. That'd be nice.
Get the garbage can. Yeah. I've got a question here for Eric, and it's going to tie into a question for a giveaway. And I'm going to give away to whoever gets the question correct this box set, this box that you can put your Halloween 6, 7, or Halloween H2O Resurrect, Halloween 6 H2O and Resurrection. I'm having one of those days. Those will fit in this box. Got some lovely images on here. Much nicer box than the box that the actual Blu-rays came in. And of course, this was given to me by my buddy Justin at Blockbuster Box Sets to give away. So the question here is, Eric, how did you get your role in SNDN 2? But there was an actor who was hired for the role prior to Eric. Can somebody tell me what that actor's name is? So let's see here. I've got my eyes on the chat. He was the first person cast as Ricky. I'm looking. It was not Charlie Sheen, Big Crack Rock. Oh goodness. Hope you're doing well, Big Crack Rock. Nobody's got it yet. This is a good one. I'm making y'all work for this box.
I don't even know if that's out. Even if someone's searching the net, they're not going to find that one out.
If you've listened to interviews with Eric before, you probably know. If you've listened to the commentary that's on the Blu-ray, you know. And it's also in the making of too, the actor's name. Not Eric Stoltz. This is a tough one. Well, it wasn't Bill Moseley. No, Bill Moseley got his turn to play Ricky in part 3, but he had to wear a soup bowl on his head the whole time. This is a tough one. Nobody's getting it. Oh. We've got a winner here. Let me double check just to make sure. Yes, we've got a winner. Alyssa Milano, star of Teen Wolf 3. I don't think it's the real Alyssa Milano. You are correct. It was David Heavener. David Heavener. You are correct. Yes. Yeah. So go ahead and tell us the story, how you got the role as Ricky over Mr. Heavener.
Well, and don't want to be running on the risk of being boring here, but Yes, yeah, no, you're right. David Heavener was locked on this thing with the director and the and Lee Harry and Joe Earl were the editors of Lejean Studios over there in Burbank, and I saw this ad for an untitled horror film, uh, casting for an untitled horror film in Burbank at this address, and I showed up, and it was I read for one of the cops in the movie. I think the cop that says "No, don't do it" line, um, like don't blow your head off. And so I read it, and those things go like 5 seconds later, I'm done, and so I'm leaving there, and I stopped. I came by Lee, and I usually always did this anyhow because it's just being respectful. I said, "Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it." I just didn't want to walk out of there with my tail between my legs, and so I stopped to say thank you, and I said, "Well, who's got the lead?" And Brazen, yeah. And Lee said, "Well, he started to say we got it locked up, but then Joe Earl was really quick, had a quick mind, and he said, no, we got that all locked up, but thank you very much." And Lee said, yeah, we think we've got that covered. And I said, okay, well, great, thanks. And off I went, thinking, well, I just wasted my time, half a line, and that's that. But went home and got a call 2 or 3 days later. Eric, this is Lee, Harry. You read for us? I say, yeah, Lee. How you doing? And he says, we looking at you for a different role on this thing. So could you come back up? And I think that was a Tuesday. I got the call, and it went up on a Wednesday. And then we were looking at this and that. And then what they did is they gave me the dialogue from that Dr. Bloom, the beginning of the movie. And so then I read for that, and not really knowing what that was all about, because I really wasn't, they didn't fill me in on all of this. And I did, I was really green. I didn't know that whole world in Robert's movie and all that. So yeah, I read for that, and I left. It was that simple. They didn't say, hey, we're looking at you for, but then I got a call again by Lee, and a couple days later, and he said, Eric, we're looking at you for the lead on this thing. And I said, well, I thought it was all locked up. And he said, well, things had kind of changed. What was going on behind the scenes is Lee and Joe's boss, Larry Applebaum, kind of a rough guy from the Jersey Shore kind of guy, New Yorker, that kind of thing. He liked me. He liked the fact that I was more suited to it, and that I had a similar look to the kid, the little Ricky in the first one. And then, he said, hey, look, the guy is exactly what you want. He's more commercial. He can throw people around. He looks like, what are you doing here? And so that's how that came to be. And I don't want to be long-winded, other than to say that Joe Earl was pretty irked about the whole thing. And he reminded me throughout the whole filming that they had the guy, they had David, and I never knew his name, but Joe would always bring that up to me. And
well, I mean, if you hadn't, and maybe it was just youthful, exuberance. Sure, yeah, being ballsy. If you hadn't asked, hey, who's got the lead in this? You may not just,
yeah, I would have just been,
you would have been, don't do it. And that'd been it.
I don't even think I was suitable for that. So I think, they would have got someone else. But no, it's the way it went. And I know people have heard it before that are listening, but no, it's what I needed to do at the time. I was just sick of that, no, don't do it, or you want fries with that, sir,
you wanted a juicy, meaty roll, kind of like one of those In-N-Out burgers.
Yeah, really, it would be like it was necessary at the time to be forward, and I find myself doing that a lot lately, whether it's at the post office or whatever. Speak up, be alpha, because I don't want to. How many times it wasn't that one time? It was 100 times I left these auditions where it would just you read, you go, and it's like. But in this case, it just felt right to ask, and and then if I don't know if David Heavener did it, it would be a bigger film. It may have been just crushed everything and been an all time classic. But I did what I did with what they asked, and it was pretty.
Well, look, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There's one reason why that movie is as beloved as it is. There's one reason why anybody talks about that, and no disrespect to Lee or to anybody else who, is associated with it. There's one reason why that movie did not completely slide into obscurity with the rest of the Silent Night, Deadly Night series. Beyond it is Eric Freeman. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
I don't know. A lot of energy in that film, which was good. Had I done the job I did with no energy, kind of the Bill Moseley style of not, and he's a great actor. I mean, we sat together, Bill and I, in a con, going, "No, I was worse," and "No, I was worse," and so we kind of went back and forth on that. But I think what helped that movie a lot is the energy of the movie and the energy of that dumb character that propelled it forward. So, so thank you for your kind words, Piz. And I can see other people writing that too. It's very nice. It's a combination of being green and a lot of energy. So
lot of energy. There's a question up here. Let me give a shout out real quick to Alex. Thank you for the $20 super chat, Alex. That's very, very generous of you. Hail to the Garbage King, Piz, and love and happiness. Oh, am I the Garbage King? Piz. Oh no, okay, I see what you're saying. Piz, and love and happiness stuff to everyone here. Eric, how do you feel today about Bill Moseley stepping in as your character? But thank you for that, Alex. And Alex, get in touch with me, man. I will send you a signed magnet. So drop me a line on Patreon, man. Thank you.
No. And if people don't like 3, it's not because of Moseley. It was the tinkering of this guy named Monty Hellman. He directed 3, and his claim to fame years earlier was a movie with James Taylor, the musician, called Two-Lane Blacktop. A good movie where James Taylor is driving around a truck, souped up truck, and he's racing people for pink slips. And it was quite a good movie. And Warren Oates is in it. Good movie. But that was his big thing. And when Monty Hellman came along for part 3, I had auditioned for Monty Hellman 5-6 times prior to that, to him even getting the helming that 3. But I know he tinkered with that script, and I know he wanted to break away from 2 entirely. People ask, well, why weren't you in that? But I used to audition for Hellman all the time, and he said he was an odd duck, and he just wanted to go do something different, and it was. And Bill Moseley, God, the guy's great. He's great. So he just looks back at that, like, from what I spent enough time with him to know that he's not proud of it, and and so, but
well, I mean, but I mean, Hellman wanted him to be like a zombie, just kind of slugging around. That's not you. You know what I mean? That's not Eric Freeman.
No.
Yeah. We've got a question here, and this is from somebody who's needing some help, and he's at the right place. My buddy Joe says he recently had gallbladder surgery, and a lot of food is really hard on his digestive tract. Do you have any recommendations on what is good to eat for that condition? I had the same thing when I had my gallbladder removed. I know a lot of people, when they have their gallbladders removed, they can eat a piece of bread and it's shooting out of them 5 minutes later. What would you recommend for that, Eric?
Well, yeah, I mean, what you're doing is you've taken out a a vital part of your body in a sense, and that has a lot to do with bile and digestive enzymes and things like it. That's a tough one in the sense that it takes more time to but I would, first things first, you're going to have to take some form of digestive enzymes to help with the foods you're eating. I mean, it's very important to, I mean, we're talking protease, amylase, lipase, all those enzymes, because you got to give yourself as much help as you can in that respect, because and that happens to a lot of people, gallbladder surgery and the excruciating stones and things and blockages, and it can, wow. But it has a lot to do with you have to help yourself out when you're eating with digestive enzymes. And of course, the food you're eating, you're right. You have to find out what foods you can tolerate, but you want to look at the digestive process and helping yourself out as much as you can. But it would take 5 or 10 minutes from what I know to help your friend, and then you can always just email me, because I don't want to divert into that with the show, because it could be boring.
Yeah, Joe, if you'll you can message Eric via his website. It's still pinned there, and I'm sure Eric can make you a list of those enzymes and stuff that you need to get in your gut to help you with those digestive issues.
Yeah, no, it's very important. And also, the gallbladder has everything to do with cholesterol, and it that has a lot to do with the bile, and all that has a lot to do with pulling excessive cholesterol out of the system and sending it off, via the large bowel or to urinate out, etc. But there's a lot of little factors in that. The gallbladder, what it does, it's amazing. And so yeah, you have to work around that the best you can. There's a lot of things you can do. And but yeah, you can't have a carefree diet like you maybe once had, but there's no reason why you can't make it work for yourself. But it's just a little bit more conscious of what's going on there. And but it's I get it. I got out of the business because I was so ill in '92. So I understand that, and I feel for anyone that's not right well or in pain or this or that. It kills me. But there's a lot you can do for that.
So Joe, if you didn't jot down that stuff, shoot Eric a message via his website. He'll help you out. We've got Future Dead Camper here with us tonight. Hope you're doing well. Reordrin says Eric is a class act. Wish him all the best in the new year.
Oh, that's very kind.
Yeah. Mike says Eric is a super nice fella. Definitely a pleasure to work with.
That's nice.
Yeah. Future Dead Camper also does her cheat meals in the parking lot. So let's see. We had a question about your NECA figure. How does Eric Freeman feel that he is an action figure now with your NECA figure?
Oh, initially, I don't know what got into my head, like I was somebody, but initially I was like a little pissed because he should have had the jeans and this blue sweater, and he should have been that guy instead of the Santa guy. But overall, I'm blown. I mean, who's got an action figure? Robert's got one. I got one. I mean, we're relative nobodies, but especially me. But that's pretty cool. A Santa or no Santa suit, I don't care. I converted mine over to the blue sweater guy, but that was just something I had to work out for me. I said, well, no, he's garbage day guy. So
There
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
There it is. Yeah. I mean, not many. I mean, did Brando get his own action figure? No. You know what I mean? Does Pacino have his own action figure? No.
Woo-wah! Yeah.
Mike wants to know what's your favorite film in general. You got a favorite, just an overall favorite film?
That always changes. That always changes. Gosh, I can't say that. It would take me a while to come up with that. I like so many of these other films that maybe people don't see. Um, for a while there, my favorite one was something Jeff Bridges did from way back in the day. He was a stock car. It was like kind of the story of Junior Johnson. He was a race car driver. He was actually a moonshiner's. He was the moonshiner's son, bringing shine to market. In this hopped up Mustang. I forgot the name of the American. Oh heck, I'm surprised I don't know the name of the title of that, but it was a really cool movie in the '70s, and with Jeff Bridges and Gary Busey and Geraldine Fitzgerald and a bunch of stars in there from older days. I just liked it. Is this a story? I always like stories of like the Rocky kind of story. I always like stories where it's just a guy just scrapping and he's nobody and he's trying to make good and something good happens to him. Or yeah.
Was it Thunderbolt? And no, it wasn't
No,
Thunderbolt. No.
no, it had two names to it. The Last American Hero. The Last
The
American.
Last American Hero. Yep. I see it.
Yeah. I like that one a lot because it's just when William Smith is in it.
William Smith, Ned Beatty, Geraldine Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Ed Lauder.
Ed Lauder. Yeah, no, it's Ed Lauder's great in this, and it's just it's of another time, and it's just a guy that's going up the ranks of stock car driving, and then so on. But it's I just like stories that just like that, and that's just one of.
Eric turned me on to an awesome movie from 1967 starring Lee Marvin. You know what I'm talking about. Point Blank. If you guys have not seen Point Blank, so good. And it's not just like an action revenge movie. You'll think about that movie after it's over. Great movie. Lee Marvin is so good. I've loved Lee Marvin in everything. And Eric was like, "Have you seen Point Blank?" I was like, "Well, no." "Well, you better watch it." So great movie. Great movie.
It is. I know they redid that movie, but that's no, it's Lee Marvin as it's peak. He's peak Marvin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that one. Yeah,
Well,
that'd be another one where I would watch once a year, and I just like that stuff. I like old Michael Caine, and remember the Michael Caine one I said to watch, and
yeah. Was that Get Carter? Yeah, that was That was a really good one. Yeah. Kind of shocking. They remade that, and of course that they gave the Michael Caine role to Sylvester Stallone. No disrespect to Stallone, but I mean, he's no Michael Caine.
No, it's Stallone. I like Stallone. I like a lot of the stuff he's done, but Stallone. There's some people that he didn't have the internal. You got it or you don't. He didn't have it for that role. I'm sorry. Michael Caine can put on the menace like nobody when he's day. And
like and Stallone is that character is not very bright in that movie because he knows very early on that the Mickey Rourke character killed his brother. So he goes to Mickey Rourke and he's like, I'm going to kill you. And Mickey Rourke's like, I didn't kill your brother. He's like, okay, well, I'll see you later. And then he gets convinced again that Mickey Rourke killed his brother. He's like, okay, I'm coming to kill you now. And Mickey's like, no, I really didn't kill your brother. And he's like, okay, well, I'll see you later. So like he literally gives him three, like, dude, are you serious? Like Mickey Rourke's like playing mind. I don't know. It doesn't kind of come off right to me.
Yeah, I agree. That's where it was just, yeah, he did that. It was over and over again. Mickey Rourke kept, telling him that he didn't do it. But you're right. And then they finally get in this big brawl toward the end of the movie. Mickey Rourke and Stallone, they get in this brawl, and finally, and Mickey Rourke's getting the best of Stallone, beating his ass at a party. And there's this music playing in the background. It's a big party, and then Mickey Rourke finally says, "Hey, your brother put up more of a fight than you did." It's like he finally gets it, and then he gets pissed. But what a dolt! It's how many times do you need? He's got hoodwinked every time.
Yeah. Jeez. Let's see here. Kevin wants to know, who is your favorite female and male actor?
Good question.
Was there a particular movie or particular actor who made you want to do what they do?
If we go back a ways, that's a good question. I'd have to think on that one. Because never been asked it, and I think more of my life was I wanted to be anybody but myself, so that seemed like a good avenue where I could escape. I could, non-reality is where I wanted to be, and I can't see any in particular. There must have been somebody that I really admired, but there probably is so.
I'm betting it was like badass kind of guy, and then like the Clint Eastwood Western kind of guy with like the cigar hanging out of his mouth, and I'm like, you want to mess with me?
Yeah, probably a lot. I used to watch a lot of that local wrestling. But yeah, no, we had Superstar Billy Graham, and we had Verpo Vachon, and we had all these characters. A lot of them were, I don't know if it would seem to be regional, the Michigan, Minnesota, the belt there, all the, it just seemed like they a lot of the wrestling started in that Midwest, and but I'd see all these characters, the claw, the guy that did the claw, was it the Baron von Raschke with the claw, and these guys, and I like that stuff. I used to watch that, but I had an uncle that watched a lot of wrestling, turned me on to wrestling, but I always tune in for the wrestling stuff, and Jesse Ventura was there with the boa and the hat and the flamboyant, he kind of ripped off Superstar Billy Graham's thing, and but because it worked, and but I looked at these guys that were bigger than life, and that was interesting to me. Looking back, I was so silly. It's all staged fighting and stuff, but even within all that stage fighting, man, those guys they're done. They have 10 or 15 years in the ring, and they back surgeries, knee surgeries, neck surgery. Yeah. It's just the most brutal sport there could be, because when you get pile drived into the mat, you can't fake it. You drop a guy 6 feet down onto his back, he's getting hurt. So
it's gonna hurt. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Rizami says we need more YouTube videos from Eric all about the things.
Yeah, I agree.
And I agree. I've asked Eric. I said, there's just what you did for Joe with the gallbladder. There's a lot of people out there who have ailments and sicknesses and deficiencies, and you know what I mean, who are taking some awful medicine, and it's not doing the trick. So
never does. In fact, taking these medicines and things, their body has to metabolize these things, and so it draws on even more mineral reserves and more of your nutrients to detoxify, get this out of the liver and out of the body. So these drugs actually covering up symptoms is what they're after. The doctors are cover up your symptoms so you don't feel it or you can continue on, but it puts more of a tax on the body. And so the answer is take 100 nutrients in a day, and good nutrients, and plant-based colloidal minerals, chelated minerals, B vitamins, essential fatty acids, amino acids. And if you get these 100 nutrients in a day, you won't have this itis or this inflammation, or you won't have this and that. But it really is diet and supplementation. The food is too weak to support stellar health. There's nothing in the soil anymore. The soil's played, so that the commercially grown foods especially are just nutrient deficient. They're green because we throw NPK, we throw fertilizers into the soil to make things grow quick, abundantly, and green. But it doesn't, just because it's green doesn't mean it's nutritious. So that I will do some stuff on that. I would like to just say this is what I would suggest taking, and it will cost you 100 or 200 or bucks a month, but you won't succumb to illness. If you can, I will just say this, and not because it's a boring topic for most, but there was a famous Nobel Prize winner called Linus Pauling. He was a big advocate of vitamin C back in the 60s and 70s, but he went in front of Congress in the 70s up the Capitol Hill, and he said all disease is an organic mineral deficiency. And it just flew over their heads. They didn't understand, but organic mineral deficiency would be plant-based colloidal minerals, but derived from plants, of course. But the point is, he was trying to point out that disease is because the body is starving to correct itself, and it needs to correct itself with something. And so that's where I'm going. Because you can get away with murder, but I'm past 50, so there's a point where you can't get away with murder. So so that's where I'm at, where I think. And so if I help people, I try to help people, and but it's on the cusp of being boring for our topic tonight of all things.
Well, but I mean, some people might need to hear it. We've actually got a buddy of mine in the green room, and I'm going to get to him momentarily. I do want to highlight this from Big Crack Rock. Shout out to the stunt man that almost got his head ripped off by a car too. That was the stunt man's name has totally escaped me.
From SMD2?
Yeah.
Oh, God, in and out of my head too. Spiro
Rosado.
Yeah, Spiro.
Spiro
Man, he really made me look good.
My buddy Chris from Slasher Home Video is joined us tonight. Hey, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. How are y'all?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Nice to meet you, by the way, Eric.
A fellow Kentuckian.
Yeah.
And
I had a question. You're talking about nutrition. I'm taking it in the opposite direction. I just wanted to ask, what are your perfect pizza topping combinations? It's the most important question you're going to get all night.
No. I look, I understand. I lived on pizza at one time, but yeah, no. If you're going to have pepperoni on a pizza and this and that, look, I'm silly. I actually like pineapple on the pizza.
Oh no.
And so no. But if I was just going with the pizza, I like red onions, I like bell pepper, all kinds of the different bell peppers. I like sometimes I like olives on there because of the saltiness in it. There's contrast within those, but I do like pineapple on pizza. I do. So, but I haven't had it in years. So what do I know?
I give people a hard time about pineapple. It's okay in one case, and that's if there is like ham or Canadian bacon on it. But you got to throw that in there to balance it.
Well, yeah, because it's salty as hell. So I get it. Sweet, salty. No, but see that I agree. If it's set up for it, good. But I wouldn't say eat a whole pizza with pineapple, but I'd say, hey, one slice, two. But it's different and it's kind of nice. But I understand that would be like, what? It's like
the people who are against pineapple on pizza are vehemently against pineapple on pizza. I've never tried it. I can't knock it because I've never tried it.
Well, I'll tell you something.
I've never wanted to try it, but
my wife sometimes will get, like, if we get a one topping, she'll pick pineapple. And getting me to waste food is very hard. But if she doesn't want any more of it, I can't finish it. Just pineapple by itself, I can't do it, man.
Wow.
And you know, it's a shame because you're throwing away good like pizza just because it's got that.
Just pick you can't pick it off.
That juice soaks in, man. It infects the whole thing.
Makes sense. But you know, it's a good try it, Piz. If there's Canadian bacon on it or something polar opposite, you know, some contrasting meat or something, it'll work.
Yeah, it's doable in that case.
I may have to try that. Maybe try that this weekend. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Oh, I like thin crust. So for me, I used to grow up thinking, I like that thick crust. I like a thin crust, a lot of tomato sauce, right cheeses. Cheeses matter. The quality of the cheeses matter on that. And so, you know, I used to build my own pizzas with, you know, yeast-free, wheat-free, yeast-free pizza. I used to make the dough. It's really easy, and then roll it out and do your own. So, no, I love pizza. I love what is that? God, lasagna. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Lasagna's good, man.
Lasagna's good. Yeah.
Lasagna's really good. Like meatloaf. I'm really good. Like, you know, a tender meatloaf. I mean, you could give me 3 pounds of meatloaf. You could give me a humongous meatloaf and just go away because I'm gonna eat all of it.
Now, are you putting ketchup on it?
Well, hopefully it's already you got it, or you know,
okay.
Tomato sauce that's sweet. You know,
yeah. My wife makes a custom sauce with, like, I don't know what she puts in it, but it's good. It's real sweet.
No, things like lasagna, you know, it stays with you. I mean, it's hearty. You can eat it, and you're full. You're full for the rest of the day. So, yeah. So those are nice things. I like that. I like going that route on occasion, and it makes you feel. For me, it makes me feel good because it's something I don't do in any regularity. So, but yeah, pineapple. Sorry.
Hey man,
I will give it a try. I will give it a try. I promise.
If you were anybody else, I would give you a hard time, but you're Eric Freeman, so
no, I don't know. I generally like the sauces. I think a pizza is good because of the cheese and the tomato sauce, really. And it doesn't matter what toppings are on it because they're usually almost all the same. But if it's a good pepperoni, if it's a good cheeses, I say that because, you know, there's crappy cheese like Domino's will use or this, but real good stuff. Even like blue cheeses on there are great, and it's all contrast, isn't it? It's like you got that beautiful sauce and it's sweet, and you got the onions, and you got this, and I know it's all like 18 flavors, you know.
Do you like spinach and feta? You like that? That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I had that. I've had pesto pizzas before, pesto and spinach and feta, and you know, these are acquired tastes, but you know, they're good.
I had he was the basketball coach in high school, but he also taught a health class. It's shocking that they allowed him to teach a health class, but he used to say, pizza's got all the major food groups in it. You got your bread group, you got your meat group, you got your cheese group, you got your vegetable group. He's like, just pizza's like the healthiest food on the planet.
Hey man, that's science, bro. You can't argue with that.
That's what I tell people, and then they're like, "Well, why are you so fat?" And I go, "It's a glandular issue."
Yeah.
I just make that, you know, I have a glandular issue. So, yeah. Goodness gracious. Okay, Chris, if you want to hang out for a little bit, hang out. Chill out with us for a little bit if you want. If you're not too scared, Eric's in a good mood.
Well,
He may not.
Pretty intimidated, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, as long as he's not got an umbrella in his hand, you'll be all right.
I'm planning on watching part 2 pretty soon. It's on the list for sure. It's one of my favorite in the franchise, and I also love Murder Weapon. By the way,
Murder Weapon.
It's a great movie.
Eric's got a funny story about Murder. I don't know if he can. You can talk about it. David Dakota. He gave you the worst line. You're in that scene with lovely Linnea Quigley in the car. And didn't he want you to be like, oh, I can't perform? Like he wanted you to have like erectile dysfunction or something?
No, even worse. Thanks for bringing that up. No, I remember because I came to David Dakota. We were shooting that morning because David is infamous for getting half the script done in a day anyhow. And I knew we would be, he said, okay, familiarize yourself with these parts of the script, Eric. And so he said to so-and-so pages to so-and-so pages. And I knew it was this scene jumping into a car with Linnea Quigley. We're going off to get beer or something at the Quickie Mart. But we're hopping into like an old red convertible, Dodge Dart convertible or something. And the scene was written to get in the car, jump in the car and make out with Linnea and have a premature ejaculation.
That's it.
Yes. You're like, and I was like making out with her and going, oops, whatever. I can't explain it. It was more physical than saying anything, but it was basically just letting it rip inside my shorts. and so I was like, wow, this sucks. And so I went to David and I said, David, there's part of the script. I said, hey, I'm trying to build a career. I don't want to be known as a guy that, comes in his shorts just by kissing a girl. And so he says, well, what do you suggest? And I said, well, I was stuck because I didn't think I'd get to the point of, suggesting, but I said, well, what if I said, hey baby, I respect you too much. Just, give me a blowjob instead or some line. And so we're fake making out, and Linnea never kissed. She didn't kiss her co-stars or anything. She kind of fake kissed, but she did it in a way of like just being close to you, but not really touching you. We're doing that fake kissing. I'm kind of, feeling her body, but not feeling it. I mean, being respectful. And so it came to that. But the thing is, David never said, okay, change the lines, whatever. And so I came into that with great trepidation because I was like, God, I got to do this. I got to, act out, that thing. And the point is I'm making out with her. And then David says, okay, Eric, give us the line. He just, he blurts that out as we're in the scene. And I said, I was thinking to myself in my brain, like, the line, the line. I came up with the line. And so it's really kind of comical what my delivery of this, but it's way better. What I said was way better than what he wanted me to do. So, but
it's a wonder really that he let you change the line, because they'd be like, well, that's going to take too much time, Eric. I've got 30 pages to shoot today. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I got on him early. I just said, hey, when we're in the car in the scene, Dave, I can't do that. I'm trying to build a career. So already I haven't changed my name and stuff on it because I didn't want to. I just got into SAG, and they, of course, put the fear of God into you to not do any non-union work, to not do this because we'll throw your ass out. And And then this came along, and I was like, well, David, I just got into SAG. And so, so hard to get into SAG, so long and hard. I didn't want to run the risk of them seeing this thing, because David was churning out movies, and they did well.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it was a silly little scene. Linnea was great. I don't think she was ready for that line, because it was all sprung on her too. But she was a trooper. I kind of threw back at her. That what I said was, well, I should have let her know, but I didn't think I would ever get there to say it. So,
hey man, you alphaed the scene, dude. You took it back. So
that's another
props.
that's another instance of you being like, hey, speaking up, and
Yeah, no, I've done a lot. I did a lot of that, and the little bit of work I did, I would change. I'd say, no, this is not good. Kind of like what's his name used to do that. Edward Norton would change scripts completely and show up. No, we're shooting this. We're not going to shoot what you gave me. We're shooting this. I rewrote it. But no, if I had a gripe on something like that's not good. No, we can't. And they can accommodate. Why not?
Sure.
Well, I mean, I'll say, man, like, I sincerely love that movie, and that's one of the memorable scenes. And if it had have been you just like coming in your pants early, it probably would have like maybe gotten a chuckle, but like the way it was is memorable. So
the way it turned out the way it should have been. We've got Harley Max in the chat. He says 51 Minnesota boy here and loved going to AWA wrestling shows in St. Paul. Great times. We've also got Michigan Dipper. We got a lot of Michiganders in the chat tonight. He says, what's up, P.S. Glad I could make it. So we got a lot of love, a lot of Michigan folks here. Let's see. We've got Gabe K. Oakla here in the chat. How you doing, Gabe? In a legacy sequel, putting Ricky versus Billy, who wins? Wow. I think just the world would explode. It'd be all out Armageddon.
Oh, it would be horrible. I don't know.
So this may be a difficult question for you, Eric. Wild Wrangler, how can you lose weight with an injured back? I mean, you can always. I mean, I would say count your calories. Number one, right?
Yes. Ray, a lot of that, what I was saying earlier, a lot of minerals are cellular energy. They are the idea, Joel Wallach, I love Joel Wallach. He's been at fixing people's health problems for 40, 50 years. He's into taking the 90 or 100 nutrients a day kind of thing. And the point is if minerals are cellular spark plugs in energy, and they are, why not? You can lose a lot of weight, not work out at all. Change your diet, get the proper nutrients in your cells. You create cellular energy, you raise your metabolic rate. Injured back, I'd also say, what type of injury on that back? Could we do PRP or stem cells on that injury? Is that something that can be healed with the proper alternative doctor, like Dr. out here, Dr. Mark Darrow, Darrow, Mark Darrow. He's very good. He's over here in West LA. He's got a stem cells clinic, but what type of injury of the back? Is it so serious nothing can be done, or has there been a surgery where things have been, tissue has been taken out? Is this something that could be healed? Because that would be first and foremost in my brain, rather than working out or working around it or suffering in some way. Is there any way to get better? So stem cells and PRP, stem cells, that's it, man. They draw out stem cells out of your body, and they centrifuge it down. They put in a centrifuge and take out the healing factors, and And with ultrasound, they're able to guide that, putting those stem cells right into the site of injury where you can heal. So it's Mark Darrow is the best. He's been doing it the longest. He teaches all the other guys. Dr. Mark Darrow, Stem Cell Institute, forgot LA Stem Cells, something. But he's at least he's got tons of videos you can look at, this guy, and I know he's worked on shoulders and hips and backs and knees, and that's not to get off on that, other than to say I would love to be able to find out that this gentleman here has an injury that can be healed. If not, got to work around it. And then, Piz, you're right. Diet, and minerals, B vitamins, essential fatty acids. And when you get these minerals in, and like chromium and vanadium and these other minerals that people may or may not know about, you utilize your sugar in your body much easier and better. You're not as hungry. You're satiated when you eat instead of always hungry. But when the body's starving and for nutrients, you can't eat enough. And so, because you're constantly starving. But if you get these minerals in your body that you don't normally get, plant-based colloidal minerals, chelated minerals, which would be like calcium and magnesium and boron and zinc and selenium, those are chelated. But the point is that way your metabolic rate will be picked up. You'll feel better. You can take things that'll alleviate your pain. MSM, organic sulfur, will take away pain. If you've got pain, if you've got an injury like this, turmeric phytosome, and MSM are great anti-inflammatory painkillers.
MSM is great, by the way.
MSM, you have to find out how much MSM will work for you. It's dose dependent on the individual. Maybe a tablespoon a day of MSM powder, or maybe a teaspoon. If you're 200 pounds, you're going to need more. I generally find with MSM that a heaping tablespoon in some hot water, dissolve it, drink it down, take some vitamin C along with it.
It's very fast acting too. Like that MSM is real. I turned a lot of people on to MSM in my private life, and they swear by it. And it's really fast acting. If you got pain, it takes it away quick.
Yeah, there's a book out there that guy wrote like almost 30 years ago, Stanley Jacob, MD. He's a guy up in Seattle. He wrote a book called MSM, Natural Solution for Pain. It's about $4 to your door on eBay if you find that book used. It's a hardcover book, $4. But in there, and that's from years ago, but it's a definitive book on MSM. Nobody's really written anything timely. But to buy MSM is at MSM-MSM.com. She sells the best MSM. She sells imported and the domestic being better, Opti MSM. And I only say that because people don't know where to get it or whatever. Opti MSM, MSM-MSM.com. And that you'll have the world of MSM is there. Buy powder, it's cheaper, and it works. It's a potent painkiller. It's good for your hair, skin, and nails, and make your skin as soft as a baby's butt. And women love that.
They do.
Cleopatra from way back in ancient Egypt used to bathe in sulfur springs water, whatever. But and people that are all over the United States, we still have sulfur baths. We have hot springs and things, and they wonder why when they bathe in these things, they're flexible, they have no pain, they feel great. It's because they're soaking in sulfur, and the analysis was, on today's standards, we analyze the water, find out it's got sulfur in it, but it is a disulfide bond. It will make you more flexible. It will take away pain. It's good for hair, skin, and nails. It's good for detoxification. MSM is a super great nutrient. We don't get it a lot in food. And when you boil your food, it vaporizes into the air. So MSM, and I don't mean to belabor it. I'm sorry. This isn't a nutrition show, but people are in pain all the time and inflammation. Turmeric phytosome. It's actually curcumin, but curcumin phytosome or we all know it by curry and things like that. But
and turmeric is really, really cheap. Go to Swanson's. You can buy a huge bottle of turmeric for like $5.
yeah, the phytosome is best by a company called Mariva. And I'll only say this. They found out that the absorbability rate of turmeric is very low in general. It's a fat-soluble nutrient, but it's very low as a absorption rate. So what they've been able to do is tweak it. They bond turmeric, or call it curcumin. They bond curcumin to a absorbable fatty acid. It's like lecithin, or rather be like the yolk, the yellow of the egg. It's a phospholipid, but they bond a phospholipid to curcumin, and the absorption rate goes up to 18%. So curcumin phytosome, Swanson, Doctor's Best, good brand, and they've got their own. And you're right, Piz. Swanson's is curcumin phytosome. Look for the name Mariva, Meriva. Mariva is the people that tweak it and bond it to a phospholipid for higher absorption. So the trick is to get the right kind. We can't just say take turmeric and then someone takes it and says, Eric's a dick, it didn't work and he's a jerk. But rather it's the brand you're taking. It's MSM and turmeric phytosome, and you got an injury. I tell you, you can heal yourself, or at least be 50% less pain, at least. So
I want to do a giveaway real quick.
Okay, sorry, I was
no. You're telling people, you're helping people out there. Okay. I've got the digital code here for the Silent Night, Deadly Night collection. Okay. I'm going to give it away to whoever can tell me what was the original title for Silent Night, Deadly Night. What was the script, the original, the very first script, the original title. It's the original title of Silent Night, Deadly Night. The first person who can tell me that. And Chris, because you're here, you're ineligible.
Oh, I don't know it anyway. I was about to say I don't know that one. So
it was this one's I'm gonna go ahead and hold on a minute. Lil Red, you've got it correct. It was called Sleigh Ride, but actually they put the two words together to call it Sleigh Ride. But nevertheless, Lil Red, get in touch with me and I will send over the digital code for the Silent Night, Deadly Night collection 3, 4, and 5 to you ASAP. But congratulations, Lil Red.
I picked that up today, by the way. I'm so excited. I love part 5.
Yeah, I keep telling people, like, part 5 is part 5 is it's better than it has any right to be. Yeah, Instagram will be fine, Lil Red. Instagram will be fine. But yeah, so congratulations, Lil Red. Let's see here. Chris, do you have anything else you want to ask? Actually, Eric, you've got the cat there. I've had some people ask about the cat. Is that Swirlish?
Yeah, she's being a pain in the butt. She wants to go out, then realizes it's only 38 degrees out there. So,
I've had some people ask about the cat. One person requested if you could show us your cat.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I've got to pick her up. Well, I'll get her. I'll show her. I'll plop her right here, and she's cute.
How? And you've had Swirlish for a long time, haven't you?
3 years, yeah. She's just I seem to attract the little orphans and little orphan possums out there. And I found her. She was in the alley trying to eat garbage. A bunch of late nights when I was leaving here, but she finally showed up on my mat, and feed her once, and you feed them. Yeah, you feed them once they're yours. Yeah, when I was a kid, I had a cat. We had a cat, and either you're a cat or dog person. But I would have easily been a dog person, but we had a cat growing up, and she was fluffy and cute and gray, and I loved her. And then cats, they're cool.
They're cool. They're cool. They're cool. They're clean. You know what I mean? They're well, some can be aggressive with wanting affection, but most aren't.
Yeah, we used to have a cat that was pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I had one too for a while. Who, if I was on the phone, he'd try and nudge the phone away from my ear so that he would be like right in my face. So he did not want. He wanted all the attention. So.
Yeah, that's what this cat's doing right now. It's like, why don't you pet me and take care of me? And then, so it's like, hey, I'm more important than those guys. So
we've got Jamie watching. She says, hey, Eric, happy holidays to you.
Got her.
Oh, here we go. There's Swirlish.
She's cute.
She is cute.
Got one ear down.
Well, she's just scared. But no, she's really a good bear, and she's very cute. And she's a real jumper. She's like always on rooftops and trees, and she's never on the ground. And so she catches hummingbirds, which I'm really pissed off about. But she's like greased lightning. But she's just a little girl. So sweet.
Yeah, there you go. Very cool. Very cool. Chris, do you have anything else you want to ask Eric? Or
no, I'm cool, man. I appreciate it though. It was nice meeting you, and I'm a big fan. And it's always fun talking to you, Piz. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for hopping on, and it's always good seeing you, man. And stay warm because it's cold here.
Oh,
it's cold here.
I know.
Yeah,
it's supposed to get worse. I heard so.
Yeah.
Hey, well, stay warm and give my regards to your missus as well.
I will. Y'all stay warm too.
Take care, man.
Later, man.
Again, if anybody else wants to jump on, that link is available right now to patrons and channel members, and I'll make it available. I'll just throw it out there here randomly before too much longer.
Hey, I see Jeff's in the audience there. Jeff Overeem.
Yeah. Jeff's hanging out with us tonight. Let's see. No, we had some good questions here. I've kind of lost. I've let the chat get away from me here.
I know. I went on about MSM or something. Sorry.
It's okay. So Ross says, Piz, we need to see you try pineapple pizza. That might be a good idea for a video. I may have to go out and get a pineapple pizza and see if, of course, eat it with Jeremy. See if Jeremy will try the pineapple pizza too, which he'll probably just dive right in and not even care. But man.
Well, if the pineapple's all soggy and it's runny and it's whatever, it won't be the same as some fresh, nice slice on there, or piece of a slice. I agree with your friend Chris that that's obscene. Don't put that on there. But it does have its. If there's the contrast there, you're going to be good. So.
Let's see. Jason Byers official wants to know, when was the last time you watched Silent Night 2?
Oh, I don't know.
Most actors do not like to watch themselves, and I think Eric is part of that group, right?
Yeah, well, I did an exceptionally poor job of it. Other than it's entertaining as hell if you're not me, but looking at it's like whoa. so there's some rough patches in there, but I'd say generally you're right. You're wise enough to know that actors don't look. Some actors never look at their work, and I think it would be beneficial. I wish that Lee would have had a way to play it back, or scenes. You shoot something, you can look at it. To me, it's a good way to gauge what you're doing, but some actors it would throw them off. So they would they would be all self-conscious, and they wouldn't be themselves, and they ruin their performance from there on or something if they looked at. But no, you want to say, oh, okay, that's something I won't do again. and maybe some physical thing, or some angle on your face is better than another angle, or these are things that are very helpful. So looking at your work as you're going wouldn't scare me, and then the dailies, they used to have dailies where they would shoot on celluloid, 35 millimeter or whatever, and then you'd go see the dailies at night so the director could see what he's doing too. It's very important. And some actors would go see the dailies if the director knew that the actor wouldn't be thrown off by it. So
Right.
because actors are real self-conscious to begin with, and I'm sure Robert Mitchum and Kirk Douglas and Lancaster and all these folks never ever did that. Looked at what they did; they just did it. And
Yeah. Perry says I'm new and dropped a like on the stream. Well, thank you very much, Perry. Appreciate that. Welcome. Glad you're here hanging out with us. Matt says, I heard Eric told SAG, what makes you think you can bullshit your way into my head like every other pencil neck piece of shit? I mean, you were right. I mean, today, the whole SAG thing, I mean, it's like they don't really care that much as long as you're not being too overt about it. But yeah, back in the day, I mean, they threatened to kick you out, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of these board members of SAG were actors. I mean, you just go through they were big hits in the 70s or 80s or whatever, and there were names. Everybody on that SAG board, those actors realized, geez, if I were on the SAG board, I could be making $50,000 a year determining what happens to the actors in our own guild. And it was a good gig. And they were the biggest hypocrites in the world because they were doing non-union work, but they were admonishing us to not do it. And but it was all controlled. It was controlled to not let any more actors in.
Right.
And I was 18 to 25 group age in that, and I was, there was at any given time there was 40 or 50,000 of me in that group in SAG at that time, with 3 networks and one more to come. And so there wasn't. I could understand them shutting the doors on to get in and do what they did, because there was too much talent and not enough work. So
yeah.
So
Harley Max asks about your appearance on the Hogan Family. Did you enjoy making that special appearance on the Hogan Family?
Yeah, Jason Bateman and Higgins from Magnum PI, John Hillerman. I had a long conversation with John Hillerman, and he was in a wheelchair at that time. He would get up and out of the wheelchair according to the scenes he was doing, but he was wheelchair bound. And Texan, he had a Texas accent, and nice guy. I always liked that guy Higgins. I think he was the backbone of that show that let Magnum be Magnum, and Sandy Duncan, and of course there was people on that show that were somebody, and it was a good show. It was a good gig for me. I went down to Long Beach in the marina. In the marina, it was beautiful, and all those beautiful houses on the outskirts of the marina, and it was a beautiful marina to work in. And I just did what I did, and
well, somebody asked earlier, and I was going to bring up their question, but I can't find it now. They asked about you being on In Living Color, and how was that experience on In Living Color?
Good for me. That first one was that Men on Film thing with Damon Wayans and the other guy. They were the gay critics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Men on Film. So I went. Keenan Wayans ran the whole thing, and he was part of he was in the casting, watching the casting of us coming in, all us guys coming in for that role. He was up in the booth watching it on camera, and so I just came in there and did what I did. It was, you just gotta. take your shirt off and say the line and put your shirt on and leave. And I didn't get out of the studio before they gave me the job. That was kind of
Well,
cool.
well, I got to tell you, I know a lot of people have seen that clip of you on YouTube from that Men on Film skit. My own mother has seen that clip.
Oh,
Yeah. And she went, oh, that's your friend Eric? I said, yeah, that's him. So it makes quite an impression.
yeah, no, it does. It was a great gig, and I was treated quite well, and the censors came in and cut the hell out all the dialogue. I got my dialogue cut, and Damon Wayans was all upset and with his dialogue getting cut because they were on the edge already, but they had a lot of racy dialogue in that particular segment, and they couldn't say it, taping on a Friday, and they were just coming in there. They would just literally live at that studio and just cut that stuff. Say, no, you can't say this, you can't say that. And so it really pissed those two off. In what they was like, they were just always muttering under their breath, like, fuck, what can we say? So they had these double entendres, and when they were talking about like. They were talking. They were talking about football players like the Packers and the Oilers. But, so
yeah,
particularly Giddy being gay with the Packers and the Oilers. So, they had to say it. They had to do things like that kind of comedy, but it was hilarious. So, I was just glad to have the job.
Jorge wants to thank you for recommending. I'm not even going to try and say that. B12.
Yes, peripheral neuropathy. B12 would be a place to start. Methylcobalamin, methylated cobalamin. It's an active form of B12. Put it under your tongue. Not to say, a lot of these diagnoses of MS or even worse, ALS, I would first look at it seems like a long shot, but I would first look at, because of lack of active B12 in the body, can end up degrading the myelin sheath of your nerves, and it can look just like MS. And so I'm under the belief that many people diagnosed with MS, for example, should look at B12. But otherwise, it's an infection of the nerves of the body. So it's infection. If anyone wants to shrug their shoulders and say, what's going on here in my myelin sheath and my nerves? Why look at infection? Look at deficiency. Look at it deficiency always, because that's going to come from infection as well. Infection's going to gobble up all nutrients entering the body. And so if there's already a deficiency of B12, and there should be, because no one's eating hearts and livers and organ meats anyhow, where you get your B12. And if you're a vegetarian, I challenge you, where the hell are you getting your B12? Because you're not. I love vegetarians and vegans. I understand. I don't like sitting there chewing on chicken when I know what I'm doing. I'm chewing on the chicken. But vegans and vegetarians are woefully low in certain nutrients, B12 being one, iron being another, and a whole host of stuff. But they always look like pale, sickly people. I'm sorry to say it, but vegetarians are weak and sickly looking, and they're not feeding their body well. They need to be a lot smarter than they are. And I know the vegetarians think they're super smart, but they're woefully underestimated.
And that's not to say run out and start eating a heart, but supplement.
Yes, B12. No, that just, we need B12. I would say for everyone. Hard to get in the body, and your gut, as we age, you can't absorb B12 as we age in the gut, even if you were to eat high B12 foods, or even if you're supplementing B12, get it sublingually. Put it under your tongue. And good one is Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty. You can get it at Costco. Methylcobalamin, 2,500 micrograms. Take at least 2 of them a day in divided doses. Very boring, I know. I'm sorry, but look, man, as we age, certain things happen. And if you can alleviate getting sick or feeling like shit, good, then I've done my job. So,
I mean, you're throwing out some good info. That's for sure.
no, it's
We've
very boring.
we've got
I love it. Sorry, but
we've got Killer Pizza here. We keep talking about pizza, but we've got somebody named Killer Pizza, another Michigan guy. He just wanted to thank us for doing this. He's recovering from his second time having COVID and just starting to feel better. This has been a highlight of his week. Well, thanks, man. Glad you're feeling better, and glad that you're having a good time on the stream tonight. Yeah,
cool.
right on. Let's see, what have we got here? I know somebody, I think it was Jeff, mentioned earlier, and I can't find his comment. He mentioned ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a I used to take ashwagandha a lot. It's a great helps with the nerves, anxiety and whatnot, and it works wonders. I've recommended it to a number of people. So ashwagandha is it gets the thumbs up for me. I know Eric would agree, I'm sure.
I agree. Good. It calms down the body, the nervous system, the mind, but it gives you energy too. And it's some people really good for sex drive as well. Depends on the ashwagandha you're taking. In the two kinds, I would say is KSM 66 ashwagandha, KSM, or I particularly like one by Himalaya brand. That stuff stinks like ashwagandha smells like horse. That's what it means.
Wow.
And, yeah, it smells like horse. And that Himalaya brand, it's organic. It comes from over there, not India, but the Himalayan mountains are just right there. But the point is that stuff's completely organic, high, one a day on that. And Himalaya brand is the best I found. KSM 6 right below it.
I'm asking for a friend. Which one's better for sex?
No, that is very good for sex drive. KSM 66 you can get at Swanson Vitamins and Himalaya. You can get them both. But yeah, that and a good Tonkat Ali. And Tonkat Ali, also known as there's many names for it. Get it out of my head. And eat eggs. Eat the yolks sunny side up. Do not fuse the egg yolks. Eat eggs because the cholesterol in the eggs is the genesis of all hormones. You like high testosterone, eat eggs. Eat every day. Don't be concerned about cholesterol because that's not how your heart clogs. Your heart clogs with calcium and plaques and things like that. But
now what about raw eggs? Are you an advocate for raw eggs or?
No, and I know this huge bodybuilder. He's got a body frame like mine, but he's like 240 pounds. He's this Rico, handsome guy. I always bumped into him at the grocery store, and he is like 58, and he looks great. He's just beautiful, man, and he drinks. He buys egg whites in like cartons, and he drinks raw egg whites all the time, like 2-3 times a day. And I said, well, that's not wise. That's not wise. And the reason why is cook the whites. Don't cook the yolks. Why do you want to cook the whites? Is because there's ovidin in the whites. What's ovidin will strip the biotin out of the body. Biotin you need, especially for hair growth and just a ton of other metabolic needs of the body. Biotin is needed. It's a type of B vitamin, but eating egg whites. I know people say I like raw egg in here. Okay, raw egg a day is not going to kill you, but generally cook the whites and don't overcook them. But the point is you don't want to have a biotin deficiency. You can take extra biotin if you want, but raw egg whites on two avenues I do not like. A, you could pick up a bad infection from raw eggs, and you would agree with that one, and we all would. And B, it'll strip the biotin out of your body. So sunny side up, eat good eggs, not crappy eggs. Crappy eggs are crappy eggs, and they don't have. And plus, you want vitamin K2 from eggs. K2, if you're going to take any calcium supplementation, any type, you better have K2 in your system, not just not K1, K2. K2 directs calcium into the bone and out of the soft tissues. When we talk about heart attacks and clogging of those arteries around the heart and just all that crap that builds up, that's because it starts with calcium and a type. Also infection gets laid in there, and calcium goes in there too to lay down into the intima or the inside of the arterial walls. But K2 directs calcium out of the soft tissues into the bone. And so what we want to do is take K2, 200 micrograms a day, or eat foods with K2 in them, and take some supplemental K2 if you're taking any type of calcium supplementation, and we should, because we need it. But K2 is I only stressing this not to be boring, but I want it, if people are doing this calcium thing or thinking it's good for them, it's not good for you alone by itself, calcium. You want all the other minerals, but you want to direct that into the bone and a small amount in circulation for the soft tissues and to buffer the acids that we make. Calcium is your friend. You want it in your system every day. You just want K2 there as a director.
I think I had a kidney stone many years ago, and I had it happened shortly after I started taking some calcium supplements because I felt like I needed some calcium, but I wasn't taking. I don't remember what I was taking with it, but maybe I wasn't drinking enough water. But I'm sure that calcium supplement is what caused that kidney stone.
Agreed.
So if you're taking those calcium supplements, be careful of that, because you don't want a kidney stone.
No, and I'm sure you were in agony. And that calcium oxalates stones. It combines with oxalic acid in the body. If you were to eat spinach and take calcium supplements, you'd be really asking for it. Oxalic acid from the spinach combining with but you can get that on your own. It's stones or calcium. And also that's the thing. If people aren't taking in calcium, the body's robbing from the bone bank, your bones, your skeleton, and trying to convert it back into a usable source of calcium for the body's need to buffer acids. It's a funny thing. Calcium is there to buffer the acids, to knock the acids down so you're more alkaline. So you need calcium to buffer the acids on a day-to-day basis, especially at night when you're sleeping is when that occurs, when your body has to buffer the acids. And it will pull calcium out of the bone, convert it back into a usable source to fight the acids, to neutralize them and buffer them. But this is what you're talking about. When you pull calcium out of the bone due to lack of calcium, you have a bunch of unusable calcium. The body has such a terrifically difficult time converting that bone back into calcium. And in the process, you can get a stone. You can get kidney stones. You can get problems with your gallbladder. You can get cataracts. You can get calcium into the eye, into the joint of the elbow, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very important to take in the minerals to stop that hijacking or robbing from the bone. But also the trick is to take your K2 as well. That would be eggs and fermented foods if you like those. And there's many ways to get K2, but not K1. K1 is from green leafy vegetables. K2 is from more animal and fermented foods. And I only say that because that particular thing you had, a stone in your kidney, is brutally painful, and it's telling you a story. And you're right. You made the connection because you're a bright guy. Most people will never make that connection, but calcium on itself by itself is not what you want to do.
Yeah. We've had a couple of people ask about seeing you at conventions. Do you have any conventions? Do you know if there's any in the works for you for next year? Do you know?
I don't. I talked to Dominic about that. He said he's just booking for the beginning of the year. Last week he told me that. He said I'm booking for next year now, but I don't imagine I'll be going out doing any. I think that's going to be a real dry year for me. Robert's been on a couple in the East Coast and then the one here locally. But the reason he got to do 2 of them and I didn't go to the East Coast with him is because I did some last year when he wasn't doing them. And these promoters it's like some sort of pissing match between these guys. If a promoter said, well, why don't they want Eric at this, but they want Robert? Well, it's because Eric did one last year for the other promoter. They're very territorial, and
yeah,
and they don't they don't want me there if I was there last year, kind of thing. So
yeah, there's a lot of politics behind the convention thing that I think a lot of people don't know about, where, like, your manager may not be friends with some other manager, but that manager is friends with whoever's running a big convention. So they'll never book you because you're under your manager. So there's just a lot of politics that's behind the convention thing that a lot of people really don't know about. But what the best thing you can do if you want Eric to be at a convention near you, like I see the Boba Fett's here is wanting to know about Flashback Weekend in Chicago. Message Flashback Weekend and tell them that you want Eric to be there. That's the best way to do it. If you want Eric to be at a convention near you, message them on social media, email them, and say, I want to meet Eric Freeman. Bring in Eric Freeman. That's one way to do it.
it is. It's a good way because then they go, oh. So when they're asked, they know if one person asked, that means 100 people would like that to happen. It's percentages and all that, but so that's how it's done. You're right. It's fans.
Yeah. So let me play catch up here with the chat. I apologize.
No, it's my fault.
No, it's fine. I should have been kind of taking notes here. I've just been hanging on your every word. Olivia's here with us tonight. You met Olivia and actually it was Olivia's shirt that you signed at the convention. So Olivia says, thanks, Eric, for signing my shirt. It was so much fun meeting you. P.S. Stay naughty.
That's it. Naughty was the word on your shirt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, she was really sweet. And that, it's nice when people come, sometimes that got real slow there. And so when people show up, and I don't care how long it takes to sign. If it would have took 45 minutes, that's fine by me. So keeps me busy.
But thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Olivia. Let's see here. What else have we got going on in the chat? We've got Kevin in the chat tonight. Kevin, how you doing, sir? By the way, I dropped the link in the chat if anybody wants to jump on and say hello or ask Eric a question or whatnot. That link is in the chat. My buddy John Swaggy G is here. He says, thank you for the stream, Piz and Eric. Well, thank you for watching.
Yeah, I watched Swaggy G on when you were talking about the death of Shutter, pending death of Shutter. And I like his comments. You got a cast of characters in that, and Lauren's in there. Lauren with just everything dark, but his head, it's like he's got this floating head.
That's true. Yeah, I think that's how he likes it. Just a floating head.
Floating head. Yeah.
Future Dead Camper says it's been really cool getting to know more about Eric. Yes, indeed.
Well, plenty more.
Nick's taking notice. He knows you're not skipping arm day, Eric. He knows you're not skipping.
No. I'm pretty beat up. I'm beat up. I need a rest. I'm not built for it. I'm really not built for lifting weights, but I try. Yeah. Thank you. Very kind.
Lil Red wants to know about Texas Frightmare. Get in touch with Texas Frightmare and let them know you want Eric there. That's the best way to do it.
Yes. Please, Little Red, I'll pay you. I'll give you a refrigerator magnet. Please contact. That is the bomb of all bombs. That Frightmare. Of course, you'd have to have what's his name, Sam Raimi, and the other Evil Dead guy,
Bruce Campbell.
Yes, no, they were there, and they brought in like 100,000 people, and we were Robert and I were cleaning up on the side because eventually they got to come slumming down our lane. But I loved it. I tell you that's a con, man.
Well, Texas Frightmares. I've never been to one, but I know that it's a huge show, and they always bring in, amazing guests. So I mean, but yeah, just let them know you want to see Eric there again, and they may make that happen. I know they've got a working relationship with Eric's manager, so let them know.
Yeah. I think it helps when Robert's wanted. Robert Wilson, yeah, because he's kind of the.
Well, I mean, I can understand you guys kind of being sort of a package deal because I mean you're big screen brothers. You know what I mean? So I can kind of understand why they'd want to make a package deal out of you guys. But
Yeah, no, I there is a definite camp of people that just Robert only, and it's a good. It's a good 50% of what he see of his signings. 50% will not even look at me sideways, but I get it. And they're what is that? They're officially SNDN only. And
but I mean, you've got your fan base too. So I mean, if you're at a show, there's people who are going to come and see you, I'm sure.
No, yeah, I'm just thrilled. I'm just like, wow, because I'm scared. I'm not like anyone else. Like, well, I'm the Maytag man here. I'm lonely, but no, it's great. I love it.
Well, yeah. I mean, tell us about. I mean, I was there for your very first convention. So like you were nervous about it. You didn't know if anybody would come. You didn't know if it'd be a waste of time. You were afraid people would just go, say it. But I think you had a good weekend, and I mean, you've got quite a few conventions under your belt now, and you've met tons of people, and you've been all over. You've been from Seattle to
New Jersey.
You've covered the continent.
I got COVID on that run, so that's why I remember it so well. I think it was in Seattle. I got it, and then I manifested in New Jersey.
But yeah. So what's the overall experience been like at just being on the other side? I know what it's like being on the fan side of the table. I've never really asked anybody what it's like being on the other side of the table. What are some of your most memorable moments or best memories from convention appearances, and just the overall what's it like? What's it like being famous?
Well, I'm not, but if I were, it would be. Look, you gotta go into this just knowing you're just lucky as hell. But short of that, there are people that do approach me that Piz, and I'm sure I maybe have spoken of this, but there are people that have a genuine bond with their father that's now passed away, or their mother that was sick, that they all watch the movie together every year or whatever, or there's a story. I guess they're more sad in nature, but they relive the experience with me and talking to me about it. Oh, this is my dad turned me on to this, and we watch it every year. But it's good. It's cathartic for them because they're. And I said, wow, your dad sounds really cool, and so me, I like to listen to that because that to me it's just interesting to hear from these people from all walks of life and how they came across it. And I don't think much of my movie because I did it, and and I could have changed it here and there. I think it would have been better, but I laid it down the way I did, and here we are 33 years later. But I think the experiences that the people have when they come with drive in a good length of time and they come 6 hours and they're there and they see me and they're excited, and how can that be anything other than exciting for me? I'm just a normal bloke, but I like it. I like that feeling, and you feel good when these people come up and approach you and say this or that, but it's all you can't get a big head on it, because 3 or 4 months of the year people are nice to me, and then I'm just a guy taking out my garbage otherwise. So but I appreciate the question. People are really, really kind when they, and generally I like listening to stories. I like looking at things that they bring in and hear what they've got to say, because it makes me a better person by doing that, really. So it keeps me humble, and not that I'm arrogant. I never was, but people spend a lot of money, Piz. They come in there. I feel bad because I got to, charge them. Some people, they can't afford this or that, and I'll see them at other parts of the con when I'm going to the bathroom, whatever. I say, hey, let's take a picture, whatever. It's because I know that they pay a lot to be there, and then the parking and what you add it all in, and people aren't made of money, and I feel like saying, hey, here, I'll take this too, whatever. I feel bad about it because I grew up very poor, and I don't want to take people's money at all. Anyhow, I'll sign it for nothing. So I'm droning on, other than saying that look, man, I'm humbled to no end on this stuff. I just a regular old Joe from Midwest. So.
Well, I'm going to tell everybody a story about you. Now, these conventions, if you've ever been to a convention and you've seen like somebody sitting next to like Eric at their table, most of the time that's a volunteer. Okay. That's a volunteer for the convention. They just sit there all day. They either take the money or they ask us, what do you want? And it's kind of, and they take it very seriously, because they're most of them are horror fans, so they get to feel like they're a part of the convention. So Eric had this young lady who was his helper. Don't remember what convention it was, but when she had helped him out so much that day, when Eric discovered that, oh, she's a volunteer, she's not getting paid anything, Eric tracked her down and gave her money for helping him, which is the right thing to do. And I would bet my bottom dollar Eric was probably the only celeb that weekend that did that with their helper.
Oh,
so
very kind. No. I mean, I was told by the guy that started Finding Freeman or kept it going, Patrick Coffey from Texas. It was Texas Frightmare. He drove in a number of hours, and he was like alongside of my helper, just as a friend, just sitting there and seeing what it's like. And he had told me, his name's Patrick Coffey. Patrick told me later, we ended the con, I was up in my hotel room, and Patrick says, yeah, she was great. And I said, yeah, she really was. He goes, she didn't get paid a thing. She's a helper. And I said, what? What? I put my clothes back on because I took all my stuff off and we were going to go to dinner or something. But I said, where is she? And he goes, I don't know where she is. And she said something about some after hours party. But point is I could not live with the fact that she did what she did. Plus, she was just really good at it, really good. And I had to find her. And anybody would have done that. I'm nothing special with me. I just was sick to death that I wouldn't see her again. And she made me some money, and I didn't deserve all that for her to work for free. So I'm just trying to explain it because I'm nobody special, and I just wanted to make right by it. So I tracked her down at a party and later a bunch of dough on her. And, I think I kissed her on the cheek and that was that. But,
Well,
you know,
you did you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You're leaving out the part where you took her back to the hotel room. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I would have loved to that. No, I'm a sucker for those raven-haired girls. She had thick black hair.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, no, I'm a sucker for all pretty girls that are nice to me. But all in all, she was just a good, she was like the ultimate salesperson. She was like, oh, no, you want the whole package combo. She would be upselling these guys. But no, I just know that people when they put energy in for me, I got to do something in return. I can't just let it. And Robert's the same way. Robert Wilson is just one of the coolest guys. And so, yeah.
Robert Brian Wilson's very cool. He's very friendly when it comes to his fans. So, I mean, I always tell people, if they're there together, you got to meet them both, because you're not going to have you're not going to walk away from their tables going like, God, they're jerks. It's some celebs at these shows. You can walk away from their table being like, God, oh, what a jerk. But yeah, not with Eric and Robert. That's for sure.
You remember that guy, Tiny Lister, the big
yeah.
He was at a con. Burbank Marriott or something close by. It was one of those great ones where it's right here in town. And Tiny had a booth, and the guy was anything but tiny. He was huge.
Huge.
But he did wrestling and movies, and he was all over the place. And he was a bona fide movie star, and et cetera. And I remember working with Tiny when I was coming up, as an extra, and then with some dialogue. It was a Hal Ashby film called 10 Million Ways to Die. Jeff Bridges, other people in there, Rosanna Arquette and other. Shitty movie. A lot of money. Hal Ashby was shooting like all day for one scene, and just monumental money wasting. Tiny was in that movie, and I was there. Hey, yeah, I was on. I went to see him. This, not to be long-winded, I went to see Tiny at his booth when there was a lull. And nobody was there. And I came up and I said, hey, you might not remember me, but we worked together on this film. And my scene eventually got cut, but I was part of this casino thing. And you were every day running down. It was a mansion, and they had like a football field down below of green grass, just beautiful, like football field size. And he used to run like 40-yard sprints every day, and he was in shape. I got to talking with him, said, yeah, I remember the film. It was 80s or something. And this and that. And the point is about being kind of jerky. I just wanted to say, that I retold a few stories that I overheard him say how his mother would call him every day while he's on that movie and say, have you worked out yet today, Tiny? And yes, Mom, I've worked out. But the point is I do all that. I thought I was his friend or maybe a colleague or something by the end of this. And I was really, I thought I made him feel better. And that's what I wanted to do, because he was a great guy and I liked him. And the point is I'm leaving. He goes, well, aren't you going to buy anything? And I was like, I haven't thought about it. But I thought, but he was really kind of like a dick, So,
wow.
But whatever. I only wanted to throw that out because a lot of those guys are.
Yeah. Jeez. Wow.
I'm lucky if they show up. If it's one guy showing up to want something, I say, hey, man, cool. Sit down, let's talk. But he was a jerk, but he was a nice guy overall. I think he just didn't want to be there and wanted to make some money.
Yeah. Harley Max, Eric's website is pinned in the comment section if you want to get something autographed. He's got 8x10s, he's got posters, he's got garbage cans, he's got magnets, he's got all kinds of awesome stuff. And Mishra Shade, thank you very much for the 1999 super chat. That's very kind of you. Merry Christmas, Piz and Eric. What is your favorite non-Christmas horror movie, Eric? Well, we kind of went over that a little bit earlier. Eric's not really a horror person, but how about this? How about we turn it around this way? What's your favorite non-horror Christmas movie?
Well, that's exactly what she asked. What's your favorite?
Wait a minute. Oh, no. She wants to know what your favorite non-Christmas horror movie is. I want to know what your favorite non-horror Christmas movie is.
Non-horror Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to say Die Hard right now, aren't I? That's a big debate always. Horror movie. There was a Christmas movie, not a Christmas. Non-horror Christmas movie. Jeez. I'm the biggest chump in the world. I'm not. I don't know. I like what I like, man. I like stories that have. I like underdog stuff. I don't know. I like guys just scrapping it out and then something, they finally make it somehow. But I don't have any particular favorite. I just have actors that I like to see, and I'll watch any of it. Just because it's I can count on it. I can count on, Terrence Stamp doing a great job. So I'll watch anything Terrence Stamp. I'll watch anything Michael Caine from back in the day. I'll watch anything. It doesn't matter. I like old Bronson stuff. I like old, this, that, and the other. I don't know. I like what you guys like, but I don't know the horror genre. So I apologize. And that is probably a slap in the face to everybody that say I don't know any of it. Clearly, you can see what I did. How would I know horror films?
But Mishra Shade, get in touch with me on social media or through my website, and I will send you an autographed Eric Freeman magnet. So, but thank you very much. That's very generous of you, Mr. Shade. Thank you.
It's very nice.
Parker Allen says, what a great stream. Well, thank you, Parker.
God, I'm fucking it up too, and he still likes it. Parker, you're good man. My cat's had enough. The cat's like, get out of here.
Scott S says it's been a good garbage day, so he's having a good time.
Cool. No, I throw me in our parting minutes here. Throw me a good question. I'll pull myself out of this ash heap of crud I've built for this evening, and I'll make it better. So I'll try. I need to say thank you, anybody listening. Just thank you very much for tuning in. I always try to. Piz and I know this, that this is like this. Piz is really good at this, being entertaining, and he's really informative, and he's knowledgeable of all these topics. So when he has guests on, he it's not easy doing what he's doing, and I try not to be boring, and only because it's people's time, and so thank you. Anyhow,
no, it's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you and shooting the ball. So yeah, yeah. Let's see what else we've got going on here in the chat. My grandpa drank liquor and beer every day, smoked a pack of cigarettes a day, and ate greasy Southern fried food, and he made it to almost 90. Some people are just made differently than others. Hymns are beautiful. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. That's very kind of you. Do you ever talk to other guests at conventions? Well, how about nice guests? We've established that Tiny wasn't that nice. But I know you spoke with we were talking about Bill Moseley earlier. I know you met him and spoke with him at a convention, and I know didn't you get to speak with Did you get to talk to Joe Bob at a convention? I know you said that Joe Bob and Darcy were at a table right next to you. Did you actually get to speak to Joe Bob?
Yeah, I know. I walked up to him and thanked him for some of his things he had said about, because you could easily fillet me for what I did. And he's always was very kind. Darcy was, and I would see Darcy in the gym before the convention started. And she contacted me last year, right when I got got COVID, and she wanted to interview a thing with Joe Bob. But no, he was always very kind, and he is every year. And he's big stuff, man. Those two pack him in. That it's God, in and out of my head. The lady from oh God, what's her name? She's Felicia.
Felissa Rose.
Rose, yes, her and Joe Bob. Man, I mean, they have lines like. I mean, Felissa Rose. Yeah, I'd get in line too because she's worth getting in line for. So, but those two really do quite well in these cons. I mean, he is just a machine. He's got his little setup for people to come in and sit down and take pictures and stuff. He's got quite the little thing going on. So good for him because he's
I mean, he's a legend. He's beloved by genre fans. So yeah, you can understand he would have a very long line.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand why Darcy would have a very long line for her as well.
Oh Lord, yes. And yeah, so there you go. It's the perfect combination, beauty and talent and so on.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Lil Red hopes to meet you one day.
Well, that's going to be at Texas Frightmare if we have any possibility of going. But I was there when was I there, Piz? 5 years ago, 4 years ago?
I think it was, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Maybe I've said, I probably wore out my welcome. I don't know. Maybe I'm ready to go. Be nice. I liked it. But there again, I'm lucky if I get anything like that. So that's neat. We'll see.
Again, if you want Eric to be at a convention near you, contact them and let them know that you want him to book Eric. Griffin says, hello, Pizowell and Eric. Thanks for streaming. Also, thank you, Eric, for recommending Point Blank. It's become a film that I repeatedly watch. I adore it.
I like Point Blank. And the movie Ryan O'Neal did called The Driver.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
That's a good one. It's a good movie. It's original before what's his name redid it. God, in and out of my head. But it's been redone recently in 2015 or something.
The Drive with Ryan Gosling.
Drive. Good movie.
Yeah, very good movie. Loved it. Yeah.
Very good movie. Yeah, before that was The Driver. A smaller film by standards of that. Drive, of course, way smaller, but a good movie. I like that movie. So I like those.
Slasher Home Video, Chris, who was just with us recently, wants to recommend Jingle All the Way for you to watch, Eric. It's about a man against all odds getting a Turbo Man doll for his son. And that man is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I never saw that, but I saw enough of it with trailers and this and that and scenes. And what's his name? Sinbad's in that?
Sinbad? Yes,
yeah.
Indeed. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. See, I'm just a schmuck. I mean, fuck, I didn't even see that movie. I'll have to. You know what? And Schwarzenegger, I like him, but when he got into that cutesy stuff and twins and that and this, it just wasn't. I just like, and then The Rock tried to do that. The Rock tried to do that in his career, get off to that cutesy crap, wearing angel wings in one movie. And I said, don't you stop. Be The Rock. Be one of the better movies I saw Rock do, and I don't know the title of it, but he was like a long haul driver that got in a bunch of trouble. But he was it was you know, he drove a truck, but it was just a badass movie. It was one of his badass movies, and
Walking was it Walking Tall?
No, it was another movie. It was better, way better than that. It was, but I'm sorry, I don't know the title. But the point is, there's certain stick to what works. I know the twins worked and made them a bunch of money and this and that. I get it, but I'm just the cutesy stuff with the Schwarzenegger. No. I'm sorry. I'm no. So that's where I stand. And who am I to say anything? The guy's made billions for studios. So, but I just never liked that. It's like, yuck.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, I wouldn't want Michael Caine or any of my favorite guys to do that. Stallone is like that too in Carter, whatever. It's like almost tries to have this comic relief inside of movies and stuff. And it just doesn't fit. And it's, don't do it. You know, I'd rather have some take no prisoners, unrelenting, badass, hated by everyone kind of character, like the Michael Caine original Get Carter. The guy was on a mission. He you know, that was that. and you know, no remorse. And sorry, this redos sometimes don't work, but
Right. Yeah. My buddy Lord Brian has a good question. If given the opportunity, would you rather have played Rocky or the Terminator?
Oh, well, I'm not into that stratosphere. That would be them. But you can't, it's hard to see anyone else do that. But if I had a choice, I think it would take much more talent to do Rocky. That was a great thing Stallone did. Great. It's a beautiful character he built there. I think Terminator was straightforward, and both were very good. Those are iconic films. They're like some of the best. It was best of Schwarzenegger, best of Stallone right there. But Terminator would have been cool. I would have liked to do that. Not say much, and I'll be back, whatever. And
just walk around and blow people away. Hey, you know.
Yeah, that would have been.
That's a fun day at work. Yeah,
no, that would have been a fun gig to do all that.
It's always nice to see. Killer Pizza says it's always nice to see some of your heroes are nice and humanized rather than being assholes. Thank you, Eric. Rizami says we want Eric at Scarefest. Yeah, we do need Eric at Scarefest. Hell, that's just
near you. Scarefest, that's Kentucky.
Scarefest is in Lexington, Kentucky. That's not far away. That would be great.
Yeah, fire up the charger. You'll be there in 30 minutes.
Be there in no time at all. Yeah. Shit, you don't even need a hotel. You can sleep down here in the man cave.
Yeah. As long as the fireplace is going. Yeah.
Fireplace will keep you warm. You know, I got a cat down here who'll sleep on your head.
I'll sleep. I'll substitute. I'll fill in for Piz. I'll do your show from your place.
There you go. Miss Rashade, thank you for the additional $4.99 super chat. Spreading more holiday cheer. You mentioned Terrence Stamp, Eric. Did you like the movie The Collector?
I don't know that movie of his. I wish I did. I was thinking another movie that God, I should be slapped for not knowing this. Yeah, Terrence Stamp comes to America, tries to find out about the death of his daughter. Why don't I know that movie?
This one came. Oh, that's you're talking about the Limey, right?
The Limey. Yes, the Limey.
The Limey's a really good movie. This Collector with Terrence Stamp was from 1965.
All right, I'm on it.
Yeah. Okay. Terrence Stamp plays an avid butterfly collector. He wins a football pool and buys a country house with a large basement. He then kidnaps an art student I'm gonna walk away from the plot synopsis right there. That sounds pretty interesting. He's an avid butterfly collector who then kidnaps somebody. Wow. I wonder if he pins them in between the pages of a book.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm sure reason why. There has to be a good reason why.
He's
Perhaps
not.
I was encroaching on his butterfly sanctuary. You never know. Maybe he was getting a little too close.
But Mishra Shade, I'll add the collector to my list, but you need to add the Limey to your list. The Limey is really good. Really good.
Yeah, except for Peter Fonda. He was kind of weak in that. Sorry.
Yeah, I forgot Peter Fonda was in it. I mean, Terrence Stamp is just so good in it that everybody just kind of
What's her name? Charlie Sheen's first wife. What's her name? Was she in that? As young actress. Forgot her name too. How am I forgetting so many people's names? Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, very good movie. Let's see what else have we got here, and we'll start wrapping things up here. If anybody else wants to jump on and say hello or ask Eric a question or whatever, now's the time. We're approaching the 2.5 hour mark, and Swirlish is just so tired of us. She wants Eric's attention. So
there we go.
She's happy now, I think. Yeah, there she is.
She'll watch TV with me like this. It's just so funny. But I'll let her down. It's silly. Okay, little girl. There we go.
Matt mentions the John Wick movies. You might like the John Wick movies, Eric.
Yeah, no, I do. I just criticism. Do I have any? How could I I don't have the right to criticize, but I would say this: that it's at a point where it's just unrelenting death with. The story doesn't merit it. There's too many people dying. How could anyone kill 100 people and not even have a bullet graze? I like more real. I like it. I like Keanu Reeves. I like all of it. I get it, and it's enjoyable. It takes you away from it all. That's what movies should do. Take you away from the ho hum. But it's just too much. And sometimes, like, come on, man. It's like Jason Statham, and I love the guy, but how is it that he takes 20 people out, especially the way they always set up the scene? It's like nobody has a gun or a knife. They don't bum rush this guy and stab him to death. Everybody takes one henchman goes forward to get his ass kicked, and then another one comes forward to get his ass kicked. And all of a sudden he kills 20 people or hurts them or lays them out, but none of them have the foresight to just shoot him dead or knife him or 3 of them on one or it's silly. I don't like these unabashed kung fu business, chopping, kicking, without story, please, first. It's just too much sometimes. Like, come on, that it strains credulity. It's just too much. It's not realistic.
No, I hear you. Let's see. What else? Have I missed some super chats here? I have missed a couple of super chats here. How'd that happen? Hymns are beautiful. Did a $1.99 super chat. Nev Campbell and Jamie Lee don't like horror. So I somehow missed that one. Sorry about that. Let's see. Couple of more questions and we'll call it a night here. Matt says Eric and Piz having a sleepover and drinking some McGillicuddy, having a silent night, deadly night marathon would be cool. There you go. That'd be a cool little sleepover. Although I don't know. I don't. Eric, do you drink? Do you?
Well, in that case, I mean, if you've got a second microphone and we were, doing a show together, it'd be interesting. We should get loaded. Have a bottle of Jameson there or something. Some Hennessy or something. Some brandy.
That sounds like fun to me.
Oh God.
David J says Eric is the real deal, very humble, and really enjoyed the stream. Thanks, Piz and Eric. Well, thank you, David. Glad you had a good time. Alan wants to know, do you like Jaws?
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
remember seeing that. You know, when we first saw it, we were all a lot younger. It was scary as hell. What's his name? God, out of my head again. The fisherman guy, the Robert.
Yeah. Oh God, why can't I think of his name?
He was scary.
He was a little scary, wasn't he? Yeah, he was about as scary as the shark was.
Yeah, he'd been around the block. Yeah, that was a good movie, and done well. Sometimes when you don't see it, it's scarier. That
Yeah.
opening lady swimming and getting pulled down and get pulled down, and wow, those things are scary. Out in the dark and this move, in the ocean at night, it's already scary. And then
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah.
no, that was done well, and that made a boatload.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Still making money. I'll bet it's still making money. They'll come up with Jaws, Blu-ray, 4D, HD.
It got re-released this year, and I think it made millions of dollars. Just
Wild Wrangler. Robert
Yep,
Shaw.
Robert Shaw. You got it. Yep, there you go. Joe Reese says, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us tonight, Eric. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Joe.
And Lil Red, yeah, I'm gonna actually send you a picture of the digital code, so you've got the real deal once we get off the air here. So yeah, if you want anything tonight, the box set, the digital code, a magnet, just make sure you get in touch with me, and I'll get that stuff out to you ASAP. But let me do some shout outs here before we call it a night. Shout out to Lord Brian, Envy Davler, Reordrin, Envy Davler, and Kev24M for tuning in over on Twitch. Shout out to Parker Allen for the $9.99 super chats. Shout out to Horror Orman for the $5 super chat. Shout out to Alex Bacon for the $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Shout out to Future Dead Camper for being a channel member for 3 months. Thank you. Shout out to my buddy Orc for being a channel member for 17 months. Wow, thank you. And he says his favorite. Oh, wait a minute. Orc wants to know what's your favorite gym lift? Do you have a particular favorite when it comes to lifting?
Wow. That's favorite. Yeah, absolutely. I would say cables, cable crossovers. If working chest, cable crossover. I guess it's called cable crossover. The cable pec flies, I guess they be called.
Okay.
Full range of movement on that, man. You got resistance from the beginning to the very end, and beats the hell out of any press for full range of movement. So yeah, I'm God, am I boring? But no, that's my favorite because man, cables are good for keeping resistance on the muscle for the full range of movement. The idea is how far you can get your elbows across the sternum. So you get your elbows much closer together with cables than you would a press. If you're pressing, your elbows are here, where cables they're. So it's a fuller range of movement under complete resistance. So
very cool.
It doesn't. I don't know if it's cool or not, but learning these fundamentals of anything, I don't care if it's painting on canvas or whatever. Once you know these, makes it a lot easier to get to get to your objective, or to see some discernible results. It doesn't take much, guys. If anyone's ever thinking of working out, I would just say this: you don't have to spend 2 hours in the freaking gym. Warm up, hit 6 sets really hard on a muscle group. 6 sets hard. Make every set an event. Do 6 sets and get the fuck out of there. Go have a good day. and then train that body part a week later. 1 week later, it'll recuperate. You'll be strong again. You'll be able to push more weight. It'll be progressive. You'll be able to. So you don't have to. This mindset of having to be in there and I'm going to join the gym, be there every day for 2 hours. Horseshit. So hit it hard, short amount of time, but intensity.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone's thinking of doing that, you'll be your own artist. You'll be your own canvas, and you can do whatever you want.
Right on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mishra Shade for the $19.99 super chat and the $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. And shout out to Hymns Are Beautiful for the $2.99 super chats. That's very kind of you. We've actually got somebody who's jumped on the green room. It's our buddy Jeff. Jeff, if you got a question, go ahead and shoot it out here. We're gonna wrap up here, but thanks for hopping on, man.
Hey, how you doing? I just had a question for Eric. What do you think of ashwagandha gummies? Ever heard of those?
Gummies. No,
Yeah,
I'm sure they don't know. To me, it's what is the quality of that product? I don't. But hey, if it makes you feel better, have you tried them, or is it something you're just considering?
Yeah, I tried them. I've
Yeah?
tried them.
Feel anything from it? You notice you feeling well-being? You're happier.
Makes you relaxed. It's like that type of thing. So, yeah.
Hey, I'll try it too. If
It's a supplement. Yeah.
Well, if it's working for you,
Yeah.
then that's good. Yeah. Ashwagandha is a good thing.
Yep.
And it doesn't smell like horse, I'm sure.
No.
Probably
No.
tastes like gummy candy, right?
Yeah, it does. It's good.
But a good
Actually,
ashwagandha will be very potent. It'll just, you open the bottle, it's like, whoa. It smells like a sweaty horse. But it does. But that when it really is pungent, and you go, wow, I got something here. So,
That's how you know it's good. That's like I was at a convention one time, and I opened the elevator door opened, and it was just skunk, this overwhelming stench of skunk. I was like, Jesus God, what is this? It is like I know it's marijuana, but is that good marijuana? Should it stink like that if it's good? I mean, that smells like they're like smoking skunk poop, But then somebody was like, no, the more skunky it is, the better it is. And I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
So
it depends on your point of view, though, I think.
well, that particular con I remember because his whole floor, Piz was on a floor with all the grips and the convention people that built they were all like behind the scenes guys, and Piz was on their wing of that hotel. It was I think that they knew that those people were going to be imbibing and drinking and carousing and smoking pot. But Piz's whole floor was like this green cloud of pot.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
yeah.
That's crazy.
It was,
That's all I wanted to ask.
It was pretty intense. All right, well, thanks for hopping on, Jeff. We appreciate it, man. Have a good one,
good
buddy.
stream.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We've actually got somebody else in the green room. My buddy Jess. What's going on, Jess?
Hey, Piz. Thanks for bringing me on quick. I won't be here long. I had to come on and say hi to you and Eric and wish you both a Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Nice.
It's been a while, but Eric actually did a big favor a couple years ago on a channel I was trying to start out on, and was a guest on that. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that's no longer there anymore. But I just wanted to say hi, man, and good to see you, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very festive. Look at all your lights back there.
Yeah. It's actually crazier and nicer upstairs. The ladies decorated. This is just what was left over. I threw up in the background in the basement here.
So,
got a little bit of the Christmas spirit going on down there, though.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. Got to have it around me. I love it. I love Christmas.
Yeah.
I generally don't forget anything, but what fill me in on what we did.
I don't know if I want to, Eric.
Oh, did I say something wrong?
No, you didn't. No, you were fine. It was it's been a couple of years. It was around December, and it was me and some other people from the community. We just that channel just didn't continue on very long. But
Sometimes
you were great. You were great, and like I said, you were very kind to join us and talk about your career, and that was the highlight of it.
Was Alan Ticknick in it? Did Alan involved in that?
Yes, that's all. Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, because I think Alan has a way of pulling me into places I shouldn't go.
Well, we were happy to have you, but yeah, other things went south that way. But
all right, well, we'll do it again we'll do it again. Just,
heck yeah, love to have you. We'll keep in touch. So, yeah. But thank you and Merry Christmas, both of you guys.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you too, Jess. Have a great one, buddy.
You too, and all you out in the chat. Later, everybody.
Yeah. All right, Eric, I've kept you. We've gone on for 2 hours and 44 minutes. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, does it?
Well, to your watchers, yeah, it probably been feel like a marathon. But no, thank you for your time. I know I blathered on topics other than, but they come up and it's worth elaborating, being specific on things that perhaps can help. So I'm sorry. Maybe I should have my own freaking channel where I can blather on about these stupid topics.
But you already have your own channel, Eric.
Yeah.
And blather on about. For those of you who don't know, is it okay if I promote your channel?
Well, what is my channel?
Yeah, look. Well, just type in Eric Freeman and you'll find his channel, but it's under the name of Damon Michaels.
Oh yeah. Back when I was scared to put my name out there, yeah.
And that was the pseudonym that Eric used on Murder Weapon.
Yes.
So there you go.
Oh well, that's just a bunch of stupid old videos, but yeah. I need to get out and do more of that or less of that. I don't know what, but I'll do some stuff that matters. I'll do some stuff that matters, that I think matters.
And Eric's website, again, it's pinned. It's THEE, ericfreeman.com. If you want to get in those last minute purchases of garbage cans, of magnets, of 8x10s, of posters, now's the time. So
well, thank you, Piz. That's unnecessary, but I appreciate it. No, it's getting late in the season for running out of time, sure, but yeah, no, I'll be more than happy to sign anything that that you want anyway. That's fun. I like doing it. I like putting my efforts into that, making sure it's the right thing for them.
Yeah.
Personally.
All right. We've got one last person in the green room, and then I'm shutting down the green room. We got Lil Red here. Lil Red, what's up? You got a question for Eric?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell him that I contacted Texas Frightmare about him coming to the convention.
Hey,
good.
Look at that.
You've taken a proactive approach, and that's how you get things done.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, thank you, Lil Red, and I'm going to be in touch with you right after the stream with that digital code, okay?
Okay, thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, my friend.
That's nice.
Harley Max 01, $20 super chat. Thanks for a great show. Well, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for that very generous super chat. Get in touch with me on social media or through my website, and I'll hook you up with a autographed Garbage Day magnet. But thank you, Harley. Appreciate that very much. And Eric, thank you very much for hanging out with me tonight and shooting the bull. It's always a great time to have you on the show, and do one of these where we just shoot the bull, and people seem to like it. I don't know. People seem to like it. So
yeah, no, I can't believe it either.
Oh, goodness gracious. But let's see who's still with us here tonight. We've got Brian Trash, we got Dan, we got there's Chris in the chat, there's Rizami in the chat, Big Crack Rock, Lil Red, Jorge's been here with us the whole night. He's loved the show, so thank you for hanging out with us tonight, Jorge. Matt's in the chat. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. There's Jess. Thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with us. And have a great rest of your night. Have a great holiday season and a very Merry Christmas. So until next time, take care, be well, and peace.